Kitchen, my brother Ashley.
I'm here with my man, Mark Lambert. You wasn't supposed to be here this week with us.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in Little Rock cooking at the Robust Olive for Jill Katie, and they were going to do a little grill night.
Yeah.
And there was 100% chance of thunderstorms and 1 inch of rain. And guess what? We looked just a little while ago and the sun was shining in Little Rock.
Golly. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight.
There's got to be a reason we're here. So
that's right. I'm glad you're here tonight. So let's tell the folks what we're doing tonight.
So there's a lot of different things you can do with ground meat. And
Yeah.
you can make burgers, you can make patties, you can meatloaf. You know, you can grind it up and put it in your tacos and burritos. You can put it in taco soup. You can do all kinds of stuff with ground meat. And meatloaf is one of my favorite things. Growing up, I loved meatloaf night, and it generally had like chili sauce and ketchup on it, that kind of thing, topped in mashed taters or mac and cheese and some sort of vegetable.
Yeah.
But when we started doing meatballs, I like meatballs a little better because you had more crust on the outside of it. You had more brown. If there's more brown, just like a steak, you got more sear, there's more flavor. And so we started making meatballs, and sometimes we sauteed them in a pan and finished them in the oven. Sometimes we put them in the deep fryer.
Yeah.
Sometimes we put them in the smoker. And what I've learned over the years is so many different flavor profiles that you can give a meatball. I mean, you can make them Italian. You can make them Cajun. You can make them
good old country style with some
style with a barbecue.
Yeah, that's right.
There's just a lot of different things you can do. You can do Vietnamese. You can do
Are we live? I'm hoping we're live here.
It is live.
Jim, check us out. I'm hoping so.
You can make a Vietnamese banh mi.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a buddy that does a Vietnamese banh mi with meatballs, and it's seasoned with Vietnamese flavors with, you know, lemongrass and cilantro and shallots, and it's got all that same stuff with the hoisin, and he does a chicken liver pate with it, and pickled daikon and carrots and all that stuff.
And you can put meatballs in ramen or spaghetti or what. I mean, different ways and different cultures have used a meatball.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can, like I said, you're talking about freezing them. You can make those things up, flash freeze them.
Yeah.
And you can thaw out however many you need just to go with a spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the simplest dishes in the world is spaghetti. People try to overcomplicate it. But there's this guy, I don't know if you ever watched him. He's kind of I think he's a rapper. His name's Action Bronson. You ever seen him?
Mm-mm.
Big dude. He's a rapper, and he's got an entourage that goes around with him. And and I think it's F That's Delicious. That's the name. That's the name of his cookbook. So
okay.
So he does this chicken parm, and his chicken parm is real simple. It's literally olive oil, garlic, and you saute that just for a minute, and you throw in nothing but straight San Marzano tomatoes, kind of crushed.
Yeah.
And a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt, and you turn that and let that simmer, and you put that over your chicken cutlets after you fry them, and then fresh Parmesan cheese over the top of it. And I tried it, and I was like, that ain't nothing to that.
Yeah.
But the whole key is that he's got those fresh San Marzano tomatoes. I didn't know what the difference between San Marzanos and Romas, but they're just a little more oblong, but they're a little more robust and tasty and meaty and saucy. So that's my chicken parm recipe. I always defer to that chicken parm. If you hadn't seen it, just go on YouTube and type in Action Bronson chicken parm.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. He's high as can be when he's filming it. And he's a trip watching it. Oh my God, he's high.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, yeah, man, this is my mom showed me how to do this.
You sure it tastes good? I mean, everything tastes good at that point in time.
But anyway, it's simple chicken parm. So I've done meatball parm a few times. We were on deployment with Operation Barbecue Relief in Iowa.
Yeah. Is this a sandwich that John David Wheeler was talking about? Yeah.
I told him I was making meatballs for lunch, and then half of them bugged out like at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just went through there, and there was some sausage and some ground meat in the fridge there that was
Talking
there.
about using what you got.
Yeah. I just went through there and found the sausage and ground meat, and I said, man, we got eggs. I said, oh, I'll whoop me up with some breadcrumbs. So one of the trucks was sitting there in the parking lot, and it was kind of hot.
Yeah. I
just took me some bread and put it on a couple of pans up on the dash. It dried it out perfect.
Make it happen, Captain.
And got me out a few eggs and seasoned them up, and then just cooked them off in the pit. And we had some bread that we were kicking out for deployments, and I called up there where they were at the QC lady where you pick up meals.
Yeah.
And I said, Lori, kick me out one of those things, one of them Rotella French roll cases.
Yeah.
I said, we're having meatball marinara subs, and she says, already out of the mix. Got it.
I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah. So we had we did those. We made meatball parm sandwiches, and everybody just raved on them.
JD made a post, and he's like, "You missed out. You left out on these." Well, tell what did we use tonight? What we got going on? Where are we cooking it on, and how are we doing that?
So, real simple tonight. Again, meatball is one of them things. There's a basic component to meatball. It has to have just the right texture.
Yeah. You
can put whatever kind of ground meat you want. We did. We had some leftover ground ribeye.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use that naturally.
That's right.
We made on our first episode. We made chicken sausage. So I pulled a pound of that country style sage chicken sausage out.
Yeah, man.
And so it was 2 pounds of ground ribeye, a pound of chicken sausage, and for every pound of ground meat, I like to have an egg.
That's right.
So I took I think 3 pieces of Texas toast and maybe 2 or 3, 2.5 hamburger buns.
Just laying around.
Just toasted them in a rib box for a little bit and crumbled them up. We took a little bit of Wilsonshire. We took a little bit of Big Jim Hudgens steak rib, which is our product of the week.
Yeah.
And just a regular old Kraft Parmesan cheese and that egg. And that's really all it was. And you just go to mix. I take that back. I did 2 cloves of garlic and 1 shallot.
Yeah.
And again, it's all just kind of by feel. Mix all that up really good. Just make your little meatballs. And I like them where they're small enough to manage to go down. If you're going to put them in a sandwich, put them in a sandwich. You can slice them, put them on pizza. But they're not more than 2.5 bites, something manageable. But when we made those up.
Well, first of all, we're going to talk about this a little bit. This is my good friend, Jim Hudgens, Big Jim's Steak and More Rub. This is going to be the product of the week. Just say you saw it on Old School with Mark and Ashley. You get 15% off of that product this week. It's good stuff. And that more means you can put it just about on anything, and it's good.
Well, we're using it today on meatballs, but my first experience cooking with this, you got to open it first. But this is the prop. You can't use that one.
I was fixing to say.
Never mind the little things. So first time we tasted it, it tastes like steak rub, but has so many other background flavors that first time we made a lobster mac and cheese in the test kitchen, that's what we topped it with.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's just got so many applications. And we had a sample of these meatballs a while ago. Absolutely phenomenal. Great flavor, paired well with the herbs and everything in the meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just one of those kind of items that you can put on, heck, you can put it on your cheese toast,
That's right. It just enhances the flavor, whatever.
There's enough background going on that it's not just a steak rub. Kind of like my Texas beef rub. It's great on eggs, too.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know it unless you just happened to.
I hadn't put Big Jim's on eggs yet.
It's going to have to go down.
I'm going to have to try that. Make an egg sandwich, put some.
But so far, steak.
Jim says he has. I hear you.
So it's got lots of applications. Steak and More is available at Sweet Spot of Mine Distributing, of course. Yep. But we got it on some meatballs tonight, man. That little sampler tasted pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Now, tell folks where you can get that sauce right there, because we use this at my house, and that is some of the best store-bought sauce. I'm going to put it on the big camera there so you can see the label for Big Jim's right there, and tell people where they can get that sauce. And
man, you can just ease on down to the Kroger and get this sauce, this Row.
Yeah? Is that how you say it?
Row.
It's good. Yeah, I don't know.
Row, whatever, something like that.
I don't know. My country accent's probably screwing that up.
When it's at Old School, it's Row.
It's Row. They'll probably call us.
They got this is their tomato basil. Look, they're all good. The first one I ever had was the marinara. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're really low calorie. If you're watching your calories or whatever, they're super flavorful and super low calorie. I think the marinara is only 50 calories. This one's 80.
Yeah. Tomato basil, good on meatballs, bad on school buses, and that's for Joe Wilson. He's watching us tonight. That right there is for Joe Wilson and the Squirrel Dairy Network.
So there's a couple things that you can do with this meatballs. If you want to make yourself a gravy, maybe don't put as much herb in it. We did some rosemary,
you pulled
thyme,
some stuff out of the front garden, didn't you?
some chives. But at the end of the day, you can make you a gravy with the oil that comes out of this while you're cooking them in the oven.
Yeah.
Take some of that and make you a little roux and make you a brown gravy. If you want to add some onions to it or whatever, but you can serve these meatballs in a sandwich with gravy. You can serve them in a sandwich with pickled veg and cilantro and stuff, make banh mi, or you can serve them with marinara or another kind of sauce and do like a Parmesan. There's tons of different applications, or you can cool them off, slice them, and put them on a dang pizza.
Oh, that sounds pretty
There's
good.
not a bad way. I mean, I was trying to think of it.
So it's really a versatile meal. Like, wouldn't be a bad thing to freeze, like we were talking about. Freeze, pull you something out. If you're gonna cook a pizza on the grill or something like that, then you got some fresh meatballs there, ready to go.
Absolutely, we did some at the house. We made some little meatballs, little small ones, and I had a stock pot going that I made some chicken pho, just a really rich chicken bone broth. And I had that come into a rolling boil, and I just dropped some meatballs into that rolling boil.
Can't be bad.
Let them cook off in there, and then I just took me a little bit of, I think when you buy it at the store, it's broken up vermicelli noodles. They call it fideo.
Yeah.
And I just dropped some of them in there, and it was a meatball noodle soup that was out of this world.
Mike Edwards says, make them in gravy and put them over rice.
That works too.
That works great.
That's what the Cajuns do.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
That's real nice.
I'm going to get some cheese.
Hey, Nathan, good to see you, man. Mike Edwards. We got Mike Edwards on the show tonight. Jana Mays. Caitlin Crane is on tonight. Big Joe Wilson, as always. Greg Snyder. My cousin, Charlie Bridges. And my fraternity brother, Jamie Parsons. I see we got commenting right now. If y'all have any questions, comments, let us know. We got some bread here. You see, let me see if I can switch that back. Yeah, so he's got some bread here. This is going to be our base layer. We're
going to assemble this, and we'll put it back in the red box, and we'll chew the fat a little more.
Yeah, man.
They're starting to get hot and bubbly.
Okay, I'm gonna let you see that as you see it.
These just come out the red box.
Do y'all brown your meatballs before simmering in sauce, so they go straight in the sauce without browning?
They were super brown. If you look, you can see that little bit didn't get any sauce, like right in there.
Yeah.
That little part, and you can see it's nice and brown.
So we browned these off in the red box
at like 400 degrees.
At 400 degrees, and then we put the sauce over the top and let them simmer in there for a little bit. So they're getting all good and nice right there, Charlie.
Just enough time to sort of infuse a little of that flavor, heat that sauce up nice. Come on in, Buck. And so we'll ease in here and get a...
Buck needs a doggy dog.
That's what they look like, y'all. So we're going to come in here and we're going to take 2 meatballs. We're going to lay 2 meatballs in here like that.
Like that. Man, that don't look bad.
There's nothing bad about that.
Yeah. Does the red box fit full pans or half pans?
Half pans only.
Half pans only.
Completely. It works perfect with a half pan. They completely fill the rack.
Caitlin Crane says, "Dadgum, those look good." Yeah, I've done it both ways too, Charlie. But I like that little crust on the outside of my meatball. He said, I've done it both ways where I brown them off and not brown them off. I like that little crust on my meatball. It's kind of like an individual meatloaf, small meatloaf. Yep. I like doing the little small meatloaves because you get more crust on that.
And if you really want a good little crust on them, right when they come out of the smoker, flash fry them. Drop them right in the fryer, man, to get a really nice crust on the outside.
Yeah. Hold on. He said, Joe Wilson says, old school It's going to be critical to learn a serious okra dish prior to the squirrel cook-off. I might have a special Cleverly's ancillary for some front row seats.
Hey, that's your alma mater. I have a feeling we could work that out.
Yeah. I went to a school where we were the Fighting Okra of Delta State University, so I can figure out some okra recipes. We'll figure it out, Jack.
Now, it needs a little parm, y'all. You can do this one of two ways. This is some provolone that we cut here in the house the other day.
I say let's do that.
And just because we got it, that's what's going down. And it kind of fits real good.
Man, Mark, I thought you said you made some small meatballs.
Hey, it's all relative.
That's right. So it looks good, brother. They do look good, don't they? This might be a fork kind of meatball sandwich. I'm not sure.
You can pick it up. You might get some on you.
A bad day to wear a light colored shirt.
Good day for meatball. Bad day for shirts.
Yeah. It's not good until you get some on you.
So we're going to ease a little of this in there. That looks good. Taste that provolone there.
Wow. Okay.
You got some flavor.
Buck got some too.
So
Wow.
back into the red box.
It was the best provolone out there.
Yeah.
Pretty strong flavor. It's good.
Yep. It's has a little sharpness to it.
Yeah.
So
it is good. All right. So we put those back in the red box. Gonna get the cheese all melty. And you put some Parmesan on.
A little parm
on that. That's not gonna be bad at all.
I'm just gonna let them sit over here and
Okay.
chill out.
Mike Edwards says, I got to get me a red box. You sure enough do, man.
Man, everybody needs a red box, man.
You got to have at least one. At least one.
It's put it this way: we can use any cooker that we want. We ain't bragging, but we sell cookers. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I can use any cooker in the test kitchen I want to use.
How many different cookers would you say is in here right now? I mean, well, you can't even.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going to say without even stretching it, over 30 different kinds of cookers.
Yeah, 30 different kinds.
So, we can naturally have anything sitting over here we want, but the red box does what we need. Most everything we cook, we try to center it around a half pan or a full pan. Mm-hmm. And the half pan works perfect in there. But for the amount that we cook, if we're going to cook a lot of food, we're going to roll a cooker up in our trailer.
Yeah, that's right.
But if we're going to cook some in the test kitchen, it's generally going to be a small amount. So the red box works perfect. It's an oven. It's a smoker. You can cook hot and fast. You can cook low and slow. It's just very efficient. So we don't need a whole lot of charcoal. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You can cook. We cook inside here with it. So
that's right.
It just works out good for what we do. And, when we first come out with it, everybody said it was too small. But that's the whole reason we wanted a small cooker, because there's everybody else has got their big Memphis and May or KCBS cookers. But at the end of the day, those guys don't want to admit they don't want to pull that big cooker out
every time
to cook a pork butt or 3 slabs of ribs at the house.
That's right.
And that's what this is for.
That's right. Or it's for biscuits or cakes or other things that I've cooked on that machine.
Mm-hmm. We've done all kinds of crazy stuff in it, but it does some of the best wings ever. Like, we're cooking a $4,000 rib cook-off on Sunday at the 10th inning and cooking a red box.
That's right.
Well, I mean, if I'm cooking 4 slabs of ribs, why would I cook on anything else? So simple.
Krigler says, where's the grilled sweet peppers and onions?
We didn't go that route. We kept trying to keep it simple with small meatballs, by the way. No. You can do all that stuff you want. These are just a simple meat, bread, and cheese.
Yeah.
I've done the peppers and onions and all that stuff, but it just involved extra prep. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, I didn't have any sweet peppers.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't. I really, the only onion I had was a shallot, and I used it.
Now, you say we used some Wilsonshire tonight, and that's kind of been a
hot
topic here lately. You got any updates on the Wilsonshire sauce?
Well, there's about 3 tablespoons left in the county, right there.
I wouldn't say that because I live in this county. Well,
no, you don't.
I don't live in this county. Well, in DeSoto County, there might be a little more.
So it was out.
2 more tablespoons.
If you had this, then you know. If you haven't, then you don't know. But this was developed by Joe Wilson. He give us bottles every time we met him. This is what he cooked steaks with. He developed a recipe and passed it on to me and asked me to take it out so the world could experience Wilsonshire.
Yeah.
The first batch we finally reproduced it at a co-packer up in Kansas City, and the first batch that showed up, it got shipped right before our big snow and ice storm hit in February.
Yeah.
It made it to St. Louis, and it sat on a trailer in St. Louis at the dock there for a week, and half of it froze and busted. And so we ran out in about 8-9 days.
Yeah.
Because of that. So we got a new batch of seasoning. They made us a new batch. Then it has to rest for 3 weeks in a pepper mash. And then about the time it's ready to come out, guess what? The bottles didn't show up. So next thing you know, there's a bottle shortage.
Yeah.
So we went 3 more weeks before we could ever get bottles. And supposedly, I ain't got on high accord yet, but he says the bottle's going to be there tomorrow, and they're going to bottle it and ship it hopefully all the same day.
Worcestershire sauce or whatever, Wilsonshire sauce bottles sound a lot like golf carts this time of year. I'm having that same problem.
Yes.
Hey, I would like to mention real quick. Oh, Jamie Parsons says dill pickles on that would be nice.
That would not be bad.
Would not be bad.
Let's see what it'd be looking like.
That's kind of like. Do you like? Let me ask you something about dill pickles. And I think I've asked you this before. You made manwich, or like your mom and dad made manwich as a kid.
You gotta have pickles on it.
You gotta have dill pickles.
There's no way.
Why is that? Like my mom always made like an open face like manwich, and then dill pickles, and then tater tots, and that was the meal, man.
Oh yeah, you don't need nothing else.
That was it. That was a good meal right there.
Man, what about some manwich over the top of a big old pile of tater tots? And just, with some pickles over the top of that?
Can we do that?
Okay.
That's 80s old school right there. We might have to throw on some cartoons. And that's...
Not poutine, but man-team.
Man-team. We might have to have the A-team playing in the background or some Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Hold me back, way back.
Kit working it out.
Yeah, let's look at this. Let's pull that up on the... Oh, wait.
I got some extra tricks.
Uh-oh. Got a flame. That toasts that bread. That bubbles up cheese.
Get them edges.
Gets all that edgies. Glad that's not styrofoam.
We've done that once or twice where we melted the container around the entry. We did that at Mini Pot.
Yeah.
I tried to toast off the top of my mac and cheese and melted the container out from around the mac and cheese.
Had to pull.
Had to punt on that deal.
Had to punt. It was double crusted mac and cheese because they had to flip it over and crust it again.
Yeah, turned out he got second.
It did turn out. Some Wickles on a manwich sloppy Joe. I hear you. Some Wickles pickles. You like Wickles pickles?
I love them.
Wickles pickles are pretty nice. Look how bubbly that cheese is getting right there. Wow. Oh, by the way, so we did our pick Ashley's hat this week. We're not even ready to eat that because I know how hot that is.
I'm gonna give you mouth curtains.
Hold on. Let's go.
And if you don't know
lift that back up for me real quick.
And if you don't know what mouth curtains are, that's the thing that make the roof of your mouth hang down.
Yeah, it just rips all the hide off the top. But we've done our second week of Pick Ashley's hat, and I really appreciate people joining in on this. Joining in on this is kind of something fun, but I appreciate the votes this week were for my famous enough hat from.
Tell me the story. You need to get a backstory on.
Yeah, this
on
is
that
from
hat.
a company called Art of Homage out of Dallas, Texas. It's just famous enough. The story behind that is if I'm known by God, I'm famous enough.
That's kind of what I thought. That's what that was what I had in my head.
If I'm known by God and He knows me, then I'm famous enough, and I don't need any awards or cameras or nothing like that. We just do this for fun,
yeah,
and also to maybe spread a little positive word of we show love through food, the love of God through food to other people. So
it's
we
sort
have
of
a
our
good time.
pathway, right?
That's right, sort of our platform. God gave us barbecue, gave us steak, gave us this show and our fellowship together, and then also to show other people that we can have a good time and also share the love of Christ. So we are having a good time. Zach says there's mango pickles in the fridge.
I forgot. Zach brought some good pickles.
As long as there's not mango pickles in the fridge.
You can't eat them.
Huh?
Can't eat no mango
pickles.
pickles.
I ain't eating nothing from mango.
So, yeah, Zach brought these mango habanero pickles from Sam's.
Yeah.
They're really good. It might work out really well. It might set it off.
I might have to have one of them.
Then he got some Famous Dave's pickles, and they had a good flavor. They were a bread and butter chip, spicy, and then we had these. So we liked some things out of each of them. So we just kind of pulled an old switcheroo like I do with my Kroger pickles and swapped the juices. And man,
yeah. And if you've never had, speaking of pickles, if you've never had Mark's spicy garlic pickles, y'all pick up some of them. Woo, they good. As I call them, they got them little pickle nuggets on top. They're so good.
These are yummy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mango habanero.
Yep.
Get on down.
But not entirely too hot,
It's not overwhelming.
I got habanero in my pickle too. It's just they're not overwhelming.
Mike Edwards asked a question. He says, "Hey Mark, do you always use a fan with the red box? I got a CyberQ to use if so."
I'm gonna say don't always. When you're cooking in the red box without water, your heat's just real relative to how much charcoal you put in it.
Yeah.
It's gonna run real good around between 350 and 400 with 18 briquettes.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot you're gonna do to change it. Does the fan help? Yeah, it helps a little. But where it really excels is where the water pan goes in.
Yeah.
And you want to keep it above 250 or say like cooking 275.
Maybe do a little longer cook, that kind of thing.
Maybe you're filling it up a little bit more and you want to give it a little bit more of a boost. It makes a difference. So yeah, if you got a CyberQ already, by all means, all you need is a red box adapter, drill through the side of it, and plug in your
and you have to have a video on that.
On YouTube, you can search it on up.
Search it on up on the Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing YouTube page. You can look that up. So, man, I wish we had smell-o-vision. Good gravy. This is good.
Look at there. There was some mozzarella in there.
It was some mozzarella?
I didn't know we had no mozzarella, but it's in there.
Yeah.
These are the Sweet Swine of Mine spicy garlic dill pickles. This is my granny's recipe.
I was going to ask
There's them little nuggets that are on top of there.
See that little pickle nugget right there?
Little tasters on top.
Right there. Hold on. Yeah, there it is.
Now,
those are good.
Why might you ask? Are there little chunks? Little tiny chunks. Why are those in that jar where there's also a big old piece like that? Well, if you've never done any canning, then you don't know. But if you have, when you come up with a jar and you're canning and the pickles don't come all the way to the top, then you got to stuff them in there so that they don't float on you. You don't want any of that space at the top.
Yeah.
You want it nice and tight. So even though these are pretty tight in there and you got to pull them out, they take some of the extra pieces and chunks and stick on the top to completely fill and keep them all submerged.
Uh-huh.
It's about making sure the jar stays down and nothing's floating and moving around in there.
Yeah.
This has got a grape leaf in the bottom, and it's got a habanero pepper, and then over here it's got two little Japone peppers tied up with a sprig of fresh dill, and so all that's placed in there so it looks good, and so there's a reason for it, so it looks good on the shelf when you take it out. And if it's all that stuff was loose in there, it would just look like a hot mess by the time it got to the store.
Nathan Looper asked, "Is there an adapter for the Thermalworks Billows fan?"
I don't know what the Billows fan looks like, so there probably
it's square.
Is it square?
If I remember, I think it's square.
I'm sure that we could figure that out. I don't know what it looks like. I'll have to take a look, Nathan, to see what that little fan looks like.
Our friend Hog Addiction says we order them pickles by the case.
He does.
By the box, he says.
So, something I didn't think about.
Something I didn't think about, and I'm going to start thinking about that for the next, as much as I like this hat, it's all wool. And so it's getting a little warm right now. So
you're going to open the door of the fridge and stand in it for a minute?
Well, I'm going to see if I can try out one of these hats right here from
that's one of Zach's hats.
One of Zach's hats, because as much as I love my Famous Enough hat,
you're noggin sweating?
Woo, boy. Let's see. What's that look like?
That looks good on you.
Does it look all right?
Compliments the Lyle machinery.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're sitting here, I'm going to ease and get us a little garnish. What do you think?
Okay. Sounds good.
We're going to get out here and get a little bit of garlic chives.
You can't have your head get hot. Your head gets hot, your whole body's hot. So he did say, Hog Addiction, please mail me a few hats. I will definitely wear some. You know you my man, Marcio. Billows is square. So Billows is square. So is there an adapter for that?
Kind of like the Flame Boss. It's just depending on how
square it is.
What the dimensions are.
What's the dimensions?
We'll have to take a look.
Marcio said he gonna mail us a few hats.
I like it.
Hey, and also, if anybody else is watching and would like your hat thrown in the mix of Pick Ashley's hat, just send them to Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing, 113 Edwards Road. By Hellier, Mississippi. What's the zip?
38611.
38611. So, that looks tasty. Like you could pick it up. Good gravy. Watch. I'm gonna just move that on. Just move that on in there. Look at there. That's the bike cam right there.
Look at that. And let me tell you something. If you think that, look at there. If you think that them meatballs didn't soak up that sauce, that was a whole jar of sauce.
Turn it right there. Yeah.
That's a whole jar of sauce, y'all. And there ain't a whole lot of extra just laying around in the bottle.
And that's a big bottle. I mean, that was a big bottle of sauce.
It is like a 24-ounce jar. You got to get a little bit running down.
Yeah. I mean, that's the shirt sauce right there. That's what's going to get on you right there.
This is, y'all are watching the drool cam.
The drool cam.
That is the drool cam.
You know. Well, all right. You better. We need like
bibs,
wet towels. Not.
Might need a bib going on in here.
Might need a bib.
Big Jim, are you ready for one of these?
I'll do your thing. I'll get it.
Well, I'll hand you this one if you'll eat it.
Yeah. I mean, we used your rub. You might as well get the honors, bro.
I'm gonna be able to contain this for you.
Give me a good wrap.
Hey out.
Go. All right.
All right, let me see you necking.
All right.
Buck needs to follow me
Good.
Hold on. You got to get it just so.
Yeah, you gotta. How's that, dude? I gotta stay on the small camera because you can't see me eat this all over. I might need to jump off camera.
See that crunchy crunch.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness,
dude!
Is that some count?
Oh my gosh!
See, look.
Yeah.
We could make a TikTok out of that.
Yeah, you could. Man, yeah. Regular says, I'm guessing Rue would make short work of that. I'm fixing to make short work of it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
If you ain't down with that, that's good stuff.
One more bite and then I'll save some.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna get.
Here's the deal. You can make that what you got. If you got cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, if you ain't got no cheese, if all you have is some tomato sauce,
Yeah.
I mean, season it right, cook it right, and it just don't take much for a good simple sandwich like that. That's flavor. I lied to my
homework. Serve, yeah. You can. I mean, you getting together with some friends, maybe Super Bowl party, something like that. I mean, that's top notch right there. I mean, there's no other way to do it.
Like you said, put them with gravy over rice.
Yeah.
Put them in a bun. Slice them, put them on a pizza.
Golly.
There ain't no wrong way to eat meatballs.
I'm gonna tell you, I said I wasn't gonna eat on the big camera, but good gravy.
And honestly, if I'm going to the store and buying sauce for this dish, I'll probably buy the marinara.
Yeah.
This is what I had in the cabinet.
That's right.
And it's not that far out of the mix. I ain't gonna go up and put no Prego on it probably, but if I didn't have this, I'd probably go get one of these. But marinara is typically my favorite for a sub.
Mike says, "Man, y'all boys make me hungry every week, and I just ate dinner." Mike, one time you're going to have to come down here and eat with us now. Come join us in the live studio audience. I think you live kind of far off, though, don't you? I believe that's right.
I want to tell y'all about another something that you could do with this. And you could do it with steak. This same bread, you can do it with steak or meatballs. This is chimichurri. This is from Al Frugoni. And it is this thing weighs little or nothing. This thing's super light. I bet it doesn't weigh 4 ounces.
Yeah.
And it's a typical, 16-ounce jar for rub. And you take one part of this and you take 2 parts olive oil.
Yeah.
Mix it up. And that's kind of what I had in this little container here. You could take the same meatball and hit it with some fresh Parmesan or some mozzarella and then hit it with this chimichurri sauce. Now, I'm going to tell you, first of all, you can't just take any old vinegar and any old olive oil.
Yeah.
Spend a little more money.
Get some of that high quality.
Get some good California cold press olive oil. Get some good red wine vinegar. I even like a little bit of balsamic add a little sweeter note to balance it. And it's got all the other seasonings you need in it. Do it at least 15 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah.
And put that on a sandwich with some cheese and chimichurri. It's phenomenal, whether you're doing meatballs or steak. We had a contest here a couple weeks ago. We made a pork belly. We braised it on the pit, pulled it, and we just did some corn tortillas on the tribal fire, and we made a barbecue chimichurri. So what we did is just took a North Carolina vinegar sauce and a little smoked olive wood smoked oil.
Yeah.
and made us a barbecue chimichurri, and that's what we put on the pork belly tacos, and it was phenomenal. So you can adjust this for whatever flavor you want, but red wine vinegar and good olive oil in this with some fresh mozzarella is bad to the bone.
After eating that, I don't know how you put that many thoughts together at one time. I'm over here going, yeah, I'm thinking about that sandwich. Yo, Meatball. Yo, Meatball. Mike Edwards says, man, I wish, but I will definitely one day soon. Yeah, I'm in Virginia. So he's over there on the East Coast in Virginia. Yeah. Did you see? I wonder, did he go up to that? Where do you cook, Mike? Do you you cook SCA or you barbecue or what? Where do you cook at?
Mike Edwards.
Mike Edwards. I don't want to say he's a SCA guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have SCA is just growing and growing, man. New contest up all the time. It's really accelerated people's, gave them a platform to, like Big Jim. Big Jim came along. He was a barbecue judge, barbecue guy. Came into steak. He was judged a steak for a while. Got cooking, doing real good. He comes out with his own rub, and it's just giving people opportunities like that. And it's just a great platform where people aren't spending a heck of a lot of money and just going out and competing and having a good time. Mike says he does SCA and KCBS, so he's a barbecue guy too. That's awesome. So,
well, first one I did in 2015 in Little Rock, and I was hooked immediately, just from the simple fact that it required so much less input.
Yeah.
From a time and money standpoint, regardless of any way you look at it, less time, less money, and just as much return. So the other great thing we liked about it is their judging system and their turn-in system and their awards system. They sort of took a note out of the IBCA handbook or Lone Star handbook, where they issued tickets. When people are calling out, when the organizer is calling out the names of the winners, then there's this perception that possibly they could alter the outcome of the contest.
That's right.
They know the names of the teams, right?
Yeah.
Great thing I liked about and seeing how SCA did it is even the organizer, even the promoter, the organizer, or the rep, no one knows the winner.
That's right.
And unless they have a ticket to show after that ticket number's been called out, they don't get their prize.
You don't even get to claim it.
They don't know who it is. They never know. They'll come up with somebody. If you lose your ticket, guess what? You lost out. Chris Lytle was at DeSoto Shrine a couple years ago. Lost his ticket. They called that fifth place. Nobody claimed it. He wrote that number down. Well, he got to looking through the trash that night and found his ticket. Lo and behold, there was his number, but
golly,
he was out.
Yeah.
So
we think Alan Smith loses his ticket every time.
Yep.
If nobody gets their number, if they call out a number like 2 or 3 times, everybody turns and goes, Alan.
And he's like,
funny. He doesn't even have his ticket out. He's just now fixing to look.
Yep.
Once nobody knows who won that or who placed, that's when he starts looking at.
He don't know his number. Doesn't know where his ticket's at.
Seen his. He took a picture of it and there. I think he got 4th place in something in the shed, and I don't know if he didn't know where his ticket was, but when it came out to look at on the top 10 sheet, it was just a blank there. So I guess he didn't know he went up there. I saw it, and I saw Candace say number 4th place was Alan on a Facebook post. But, that's Alan.
Oh, me.
Mike says he cooks mainly in Pennsylvania and West Virginia this year, but planning on some Mississippi comps next year, and definitely the shed.
Just up there.
Yeah, Big Jim was just up in Pennsylvania cooking up there. So I would like to go in a different region. This Mississippi Memphis area, man, it's
hard hitting up here.
It's rough, you know. And when you have a comp here at Lambert's and you're looking out there and it's 70 teams and it's some of the 70 of the best and the world champions, and not say there's not great cooks everywhere. I'm just saying that you look out there and there's people that do it every week.
Yep.
And I don't get to cook every weekend. But you got guys, world champions, Eric Hodson. You got John Lindsay and Ronald Burns and them that travel week in, week out. Big Jim right here, he's gonna come whoop you anytime. Then the guys that are really hitting hard, they might travel 17 hours to come over here like Will Collier and then put a whooping on all of us, So this region here is rough. And I'd love to go, and not to say it's going to be any easier anywhere else. I just love to go cook with some other guys and meet some other folks, and up in the Pennsylvania area, or what me and my wife been talking about, maybe going out to Texas and cooking a little bit and hitting some different people.
Heck, the only time I ever played, only SCA I ever won was in Lockhart, Texas.
Really?
I had a lot of top fives, but the only one I ever actually won, and it was just disbelief. It was kind of that same deal.
Yeah.
I didn't even have my ticket out. Sitting there on the golf cart.
You thought you was done.
Oh yeah, I didn't even have my ticket out.
Done,
I never had it out.
Yeah.
It was a barbecue in the state, and never even had a ticket out. And I think I had 8th place ribs, and I was on top of the world. 140 teams there.
Yeah.
In Texas, and I had 8th place rib with Memphis style rib.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they called out 1st place steak, and they stopped, and they paused, and Ken called it out again.
Oh,
I said, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's fun. I want to do some traveling. Maybe make like one stretch out trip a year.
Yep.
And then hopefully we're working on trying to get to Fort Worth. And so I get to see all my friends have a good time, and I'm tired of not being able to go.
In the middle of it.
In the middle of it, because I want to be right in the middle of it too. And so we're scratching on the edge there. 1st place ribs at the Royal, Krigler says.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a whole different deal there, though.
Yeah.
We were at the American Royal and won 1st place ribs.
That was a surprise.
Oh man, I'll tell you how surprised we were. We looked around. We were loading up, and we looked around, and everybody was gone. We put the last thing in the truck, look around, and go, man, where'd everybody go? Oh my gosh, awards!
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we heard the microphone down in the pits, and it was at the Speedway. So we get in the truck and said, well, we'll just drive. Nobody's out. We'll just drive, to the edge of the pits and then walk in.
Oh, this is a Kansas Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we get to the edge of the pits, and you look down, and the pit's wide open. Everybody's already at the stage. They're already announcing some kids awards and stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, oh crap, we're late. So I said, we'll just drive down here and see where we're going to park. We keep driving and keep driving and keep driving. We pull right up behind the Jim Beam booth in the hospitality bar right beside the stage, and literally pull right up behind the stairs where you go up the stage. And they're sitting there and listening. Oh man, look, we'll just sit right here.
Yeah, it looks like a good spot.
It was hot.
Yeah.
And I said, let's sit right here and leave the air conditioning on high.
Yeah.
So we sat right there, and every time we started calling something out, we couldn't hear who it was. And so I was like, somebody always Facebook Lives it. So I was like, roll windows up. We put it on Facebook Live and look up Ella Kelso, Snake River rep, and she had it live. And we could see it, we could hear it, and the air conditioner was blowing my hair up.
Yeah.
What little hair I got. And it was nice. So we were sitting there listening to it, and there's about a 9-second delay. They called out all of them, and then we'd hear who it was, and we'd scream for them in our own little way in the cool, in the comfort. And they called out 1st place ribs, and everybody jumps up and hollers. We're like, who was it? Who is it? You see anybody? And then it comes through the radio, and we're like, oh my God. And so we're scrambling.
You piling out of the truck.
Yeah. So the time we got out of the truck and get even to the median to get out of the pits, well, they're going, the announcer's going, Anybody seen Sweet Swan of Mine?
Yeah.
And then you hear Nella. Somebody said, you know where they are? She goes, last I heard, they were watching the awards on Facebook Live in the pits behind the stage. About that time, we come piling up the ramp, hooping and hollering and carrying on. And
yeah.
And so, yeah, it was neat. We watched, we won first place ribs at the Royal.
That's got to be
via Facebook Live.
That's got to be something to cook a contest right in the middle of the infield of a NASCAR track.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It was cool.
That's crazy.
That's enough, guys. We appreciate y'all watching us tonight. We had so much fun cooking a meatball Parmesan sub for y'all and talking about different ways you can make meatballs and flavor them and use them and where you can get some of these cool, flavors and things that we're doing here at the Test Kitchen. If you guys got things you want to see on Old School, something you want to learn how to do, something you want to learn how to cook, something you just want to talk about, chew the fat, we'll throw it a bag of cracklings and we'll talk about it.
Now, we're probably not going to cook, like during these hot months, we're probably not going to have like a pot of gumbo going on.
No.
So we're going to try to steer more to the summer things right now. But if you got something, heck, as soon as it cools off, we're going to be ready to make some dumplings and some chicken and dumplings and some chicken and dumplings. Did I say chicken and dumplings?
3 times.
I really like chicken and dumplings.
Hey, I'll tell you something else that we can make in the summertime, though.
What's that?
We can spin some homemade Old School ice cream.
Man, yeah. I'm with you on that.
I happen to have in my little book in there that's got all my sauce and rub recipes in it.
Yeah.
I have a strawberry chocolate rum ice cream recipe.
Yeah.
That happened to win the Tennessee State Championship 4 years in a row.
Yeah. Was that out at like Lakeland?
It was.
That year it was so dang hot. I cooked with Southport in NBN, and we were out there, and my good friend Shane Bowling, we were sitting there stirring this ice cream up, and we were in this trailer, and we had the air conditioner on full blast, which made it about 88 degrees inside that trailer. So that was the coolest spot we knew. And he had 4 blocks of dry ice as big as my head. And we were sitting there just trying to stir this ice cream up and keep it cold. I think we won that day just because we were the only ones to keep it cold. You know what I'm saying? It was like 110 outside.
Yep.
One reason after that, I do not cook barbecue after May.
Mm-mm.
I just don't do it. That was in June or...
It's hard on a man.
It is hot, especially on a fat man. You start seeing purple and like elephants and stars and all kind of stuff.
Bad deal.
It is a bad deal. I was hallucinating off in that trailer, and that was back when I drank, but it didn't have nothing to do. I didn't even drink nothing that day. It was so hot.
Too hot.
It was too hot. All right, so
Big Jim Steak and More Rub product of the week, y'all. 15% off. Said you saw it on Old School with Mark and Ashley.
Yep.
We got plenty of it here, but it's just that. Good on steak and more, just about anything.
Charlie Bridges said he wants to see us make some homemade bacon, which can always happen. That's not.
Yeah. No sweat.
That's not a summer thing. I mean, it really is a summer thing because I like when them fresh tomatoes come out. I like some good old homemade bacon and make you a BLT.
So that's what we'll do. We'll cure bacon.
Some of that Duke's mayonnaise, layer it off on there.
Let's cure a little bacon and make us Old School BLT.
Man, that's a jalapeno American cheese.
Yeah, look here, y'all. If you ain't been to the Restaurant Depot and they got this Bogart's white American jalapeno sliced cheese, you need that in your life.
You need it. It is some of the best jalapeno American cheese I've ever had.
So it'll go down. BLTs and Old School.
Mike Edwards said, "Can I get the discounts online?" How would he do that?
I'll get a discount code.
He'd get a discount code for it.
Yep, I'll get you a discount code. Mike, in the meantime, if you want to go ahead and place an order, I have one back there that's not being used right now. It's called Friend15. So when you check out, just put Friend15 in the discount code, and I'll get an Old School discount code up later, and but right now use Friend15 until further notice.
Yeah, and we'll get that on there. Got to be Duke's. Anything else ain't even mayonnaise. That's what Mike said.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
No,
gotta be Duke's Mayo. Hey, so we're about wrapped up.
Yep.
Now we gotta decide on something. This week we started at 6 o'clock because we thought you were gonna be out of town. Next week I can't always make it here at 6 o'clock.
No.
But I think we could be a little earlier than what we're being. So what about 6:30 for you?
Okay, I'm down with it.
You down for 6:30?
Mm-hmm.
Easiest guy to work with in the business right here. All right, 6:30 next week right here on Facebook Live and also our YouTube channel at Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing. And check us out there. Like Old School on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, of course. And y'all check us out and we'll see what we're doing next week. All right, and also make sure to cast your vote on Pick My Hat. New hat will be out probably Tuesday, and then we'll let you know what we're doing probably Monday or Tuesday.
If you got some ideas, we do take votes.
Yeah, that's right. It's good as always, my brother.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Y'all join us next time. God bless. Have a good night.